to our panel members, co-research presenters, and entire participants of International Multidisciplinary Research Conference on Education, Sciences, and Arts. A blessed day to each and every one of you. It is our honor and pride to present to you our study titled Through the Thorns to the Sky, an assessment of public schools readiness and blended face-to-face classes. Our main author, our schools division superintendent, Dr. Rommel Bautista, and together with me is my co-author in the presentation, Ms. May Anjoy Romanes, and yours truly, Maria Belen Mojica. We are affiliated from the Department of Education Schools Division Office of Cavite Province, Philippines. So without further ado, may I now present the introduction and rationale of our study. So the study came from the idea that COVID-19 brought us significant problems in the educational system. And as an institution that aims to better serve its stakeholders, we as a personnel should support and sustain that vision and be part of something that could bring us to the sky. So the sky signifies peace and harmony that despite having some obstacles, there is always hope that we can overcome them given our present resources. And we use the term through to signify that we are still on the process of doing so. So this study aimed to assess the readiness of public schools in Cavite Province in possible conduct of limited face-to-face classes, considering the two indicators: if the community is in low risk and learners' age based on the allowed age range by the IATF. Furthermore, it is also specified in the Basic Education Learning Continuity Plan for school year 2021 to 2022 that schools should make preparations for the possible conduct of limited face-to-face classes. So for our research questions, so these are our main research questions. First is, how ready are the schools for face-to-face classes based on the determinants of the School Safety Assessment Tool, or the SSAT? How ready are the schools for face-to-face classes when the SSAT determinants are grouped according to these factors? And how can the schools division office help in making schools more prepared for the transition to blended face-to-face classes? So for the key literatures, here are here are some of the key literatures that support our study. First is the statement of our Secretary Leonor Briones that the limited face-to-face classes is a shared responsibility. Therefore, it does not only involve the school personnel, but as well as the stakeholders and community support are highly vital. Next is the article from the Rappler, which reported that DOH and AITF approved the open of face-to-face classes, but only in low-risk area. Next, children aged 10 to 14 years old allowed to go out in MGCQ areas starting Feb 1 of 2021, as reported by the CNN Philippines, published January 22, 2021. And lastly, Commission on Higher Education approved the 118 universities and colleges to hold face-to-face classes. So having those, we emphasize that whatever the results will be, we will abide by the existing rules and regulations of our higher office. And for our sampling, the very first consideration, according to Dr. Leonor Briones, is if the community is in the low risk. So we gathered the data from the Provincial Health Office of Cavite Province as of August 22, 2021. So based on this, their COVID-19 tracker, there are 3 municipalities that have that their cases are in the low number. Okay po. These are the Ternate, Maragondon, and General Emilio Aguinaldo. The other criteria is the number of new cases. So based again on the data of the Provincial Health Office COVID-19 tracker as of August 22, 2021, General Emilio Aguinaldo had 14 new cases, while Magallanes and Ternate had only 1 case. So with this, we had come up with from the sample that from Magallanes and Ternate having those data. So Magallanes had 10 elementary schools and 2 secondary schools, while Ternate had 5 elementary schools and 3 secondary schools. So for our methodology, here is the summary of our methodology. For the research question, first we will gather the relevant data for the readiness of school based on the school safety assessment tool. And second, we have to determine the readiness based on that data. And then to determine what support the schools division office could be given to those schools having those after the analysis of their readiness based on the SSAT results. And for the sampling, we use the purposive sampling technique. So again, we gathered our participants from the municipality of Ternate and Magallanes, having a total of 20 schools. And our data collection method is mainly on the school safety assessment survey. And then the data analysis that we use are the frequency counts and percentage. So to present the findings, conclusion, and recommendations, may I now give the floor to my co-author, Ms. May Anjoy Romanes. Thank you.
Thank you, Mama Bel. The findings are generated after the analysis of data using the DepEd School Safety and Assessment Tool, or the SSAT survey. For the first research question, this table shows the determinants and their readiness percentages. Y means that they are ready, while N means they are not yet ready. The data shows that no determinant was able to reach 100% among schools. The highest percent of readiness was found in homeschool coordination. It was followed by the protective measures, hygiene practices, and safety procedures, and school traffic management. The lowest percentage of readiness was found in personal protective equipment. For the second research question, just like the data for the first research question, when grouped according to factors, no school was able to reach 100% readiness. The highest percent readiness was found in personnel-related factors. It was followed by systems-related factors and student-related factors. After that, facilities-related factors followed, while the lowest percentage was found in stakeholders-related factors. For the third research question, highlighted are the priority areas where the SDO could help in making schools understudy more prepared for the transition to face-to-face classes. Included in the action plan of the SDO Cavite Province are the following: the provision of technical assistance to schools in terms of designing class programs for learners who will undergo face-to-face classes, establishment of partnerships to secure sufficient supplies of PPEs for learners and personnel, lead in developing strategies to prevent COVID and management of sick schoolgoers, strengthening linkages with local health authorities in tracing and quarantine of close contacts of confirmed cases, and strengthening the support of LGUs for the resource mobilization and community stakeholders to meet the standards of health and safety protocols. For the implications, for the results presented, most schools in Magallanes and Ternate districts, they're still not ready for face-to-face classes implementation. Resource generation could be one of the reasons why they had low percent readiness, and of the 5 areas checked, stakeholders-related concerns remains the lowest. For the recommendations, we recommend having a review and redesigning of school PPAs because of the low percent readiness. It must be prioritized also. We also recommend partnerships with the community, LGU, and private organizations. So that concludes our presentation. We are ready to entertain questions from the panel.